Hello viewers! Welcome back to Adaptation, the vlog for film and book lovers. Now I hope you've been managing to stay warm during this crazy cold snap we've been having. But hey, what better weather for staying at home with a cup of tea and an awesome book? So here we are with our monthly What Are We Reading video, hoping to give you some ideas to keep you, warm and entertained while you're stuck inside and frozen. The cold never bothered me anyway. I won't subject you to that again. I'm really sorry about that. To start with, Kendall is reading Divergent, a dystopian YA novel that we've actually mentioned several times before. After all, the movie is coming out in like 2 weeks, so she's just getting really excited about it. It makes sense, but it's also not very new, so that's all I'm really going to mention about it. And Sarah happens to be reading Insurgent, which is the second book in the Divergent trilogy, which takes place after the Erudite have launched their attack and leaving the rest of the factions to take sides and, chaos in future Chicago. I mean, who knew? Corey is currently reading Allegiant, which is the third book in the Divergent series. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. Half of our hosts are actually reading through the series at the same time. If you haven't read them by now, you should probably take this as a not-so-subtle hint that it's something you should check out. Anyway, in non-dystopian news, Jennifer is currently reading The Wild Things by Dave Eggers, which expands on the kids' book Where the Wild Things Are. It tells a story of 8-year-old Max's imaginative travels as we know them from the original tale, but it tells it as a more emotional journey away from boyhood, and kind of as an escape away from a not-so-happy home life. It sounds like a great choice if you really like retellings and twists on old stories, or it just could completely ruin a happy childhood memory. It's your choice. I'm not sure if I'm actually, really intrigued by this idea, or just really apprehensive about it. Kendall has also been beta reading for our resident writer, Nicole. Her newest book, Souls, will be out in late March, early April under her pen name, Vera West. It's a contemporary fiction with elements of sci-fi and romance, and it follows two predestined soulmates who wake up together on the second plane of existence, which is the place where all souls go after they die on Earth. And they also find out that in this plane they have supernatural abilities. So that's kind of cool. But the thing is, someone has been murdering newly awakened souls on this plane, so not so awesome. So if this sounds like your cup of tea, stay tuned, post below, and Nicole will make sure to keep you updated. As for me, I have been unashamedly reading some of my favorite fan fiction from all sorts of genres. I mean, literally, I've just gone down the list of ones I've bookmarked before. And I say unashamedly because some people think fan fiction is just something to be hidden away, but it's not. It's amazing. I mean, obviously, as with any book, you can walk into a bookstore and it's the same way. You might get some duds, something you're not really interested in, but some of these are legitimately amazing and really well written, and there are some real gems that you can find. So, I'm gonna list just a couple of my favorites if you're interested. For Harry Potter fans out there, one of my go-to searches was always for Marauder-era fanfic because I really like seeing how things used to be, and the present day, it's kind of already established. We've read that story. My all-time favorite is Priori Incantatem by Fellytone. It's a Lily and James story that starts in their 6th year at Hogwarts and follows them right up until the night they died. So therefore, it's long. I would say it's possibly even as long as the 4th or 5th book. Now, it's not completely canon because it was actually written before the Half-Blood Prince was even published. So therefore, the author didn't know anything at all about Snape's background. He didn't know anything about the Snape and Lily relationship or anything like that. What I really love about this one is the tone it conveys and the friendship it shows between the Marauders and their school friends. And you can see the closeness of this group that you only really see from the outside. I read it as a prequel to the stories, actually. When I know that I want to reread Harry Potter, I start with Priori Incantatem, and then I move on to Sorcerer's Stone. Yeah, it's like that. Another of my favorite fanfiction searches is for Sailor Moon, And in this, I'd recommend The House on Thornrose Lane by Alicia Blade. In fact, just put like a blanket recommendation on like all of the fan fiction written by Alicia Blade, who is none other than published author of the Lunar Chronicles, Marissa Meyer. I started reading her fan fiction back in like 2007, and I don't think there's any other fan fiction writer who deserves a published book more than she does. Specifically, Thornrose Lane is a Sailor Moon / fairy tale crossover, and it takes the characters we know and love from the anime and it puts them in a fairy tale universe. Like, Amy is Rapunzel, only, you know, after the haircut. Lita is Cinderella, and it's an interesting take on it. And what's really clever is they play your knowledge of the characters against you. And I won't say more than that. So we've had a wider range than usual for our readings this week. No, that's not really true. I mean, we've pretty much had fan fiction and a couple other titles, but it's mostly been divergent. Let us know what you think in the comments section, and we could clearly use some suggestions for other books that we should be reading. Also, you can find links to our blog, Twitter, Tumblr, and Facebook pages, as well as links to the fanfiction I mentioned above and Nicole's book coming out. And it will only take you like 2 seconds to subscribe and a bit longer than that to, give our podcast a try on iTunes. So until next time, thanks for tuning into Adaptation, and keep reading anything.